Hi, welcome to Buzz, Indiana's Underground Business Voice. Tony Selzer here. We're at the main event live. I've got Andrew Van Veld.
Yes, sir.
With Circle City Audio. Okay. Now, I think I know Circle City Audio. I'm thinking AV, church, business, maybe even some home theater stuff. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, how'd you get into this business?
I actually was accidentally trained as a 15-year-old.
Okay.
Long story short, ended up doing sound for a missionary conference.
Okay.
I learned audio from the building it perspective, not the fancy school digital coolness perspective.
Yeah.
So I understand the groundwork of it. I did sound in high school, did it in college.
Okay.
Spent several years. I have an IT degree. Was a computer guy, but ended up in
which is a huge bridge right now. I mean,
it's all we run the same kind of backbones and do the same kind of data. We have to know that kind of stuff. We use computers all the time.
Yep.
So our business is 15 years old.
Awesome. So you're a transplant recently from Greenwood to Fort Wayne.
Yes, sir.
How's that market treating you?
We've done a reasonable bit of business in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
It's interesting to crack into anybody's old boy network.
Oh man, it is the old boy network of Indiana. I mean, because it's second biggest city of Indiana, obviously, but it's the smallest big town in probably all of America.
It could be.
Yeah, we have our own experience there. So you're cracking in. How's it going?
Well, you could always have more business.
Sure.
You could always have more phone calls, more checks coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But we're doing well. We focus on house of worship. We've done some other school projects and other things like that.
Okay, I love that though. I love the churches as a vertical because that's good. Because if you're in there, I mean, it's a point of influence. People ask pastor who helps with the sound. It gets spun out into the business world. Is that happening?
One of the things for us too is, especially in the house of worship market, I play all of the instruments.
Okay.
I've been a paid worship leader.
Okay.
So we not only will go into a facility and help them decide what to buy, but we can help them decide why to buy and really understand what they're trying to do. We also do some business that's purely consulting that we call worship experience consulting.
Yep.
So they would hire me to come in for rehearsal and for a Sunday and say, well, here's where we are, here's where we want to be. What are you doing to thwart yourselves?
Yeah. And how does music and how does your music experience or your sound experience play into that?
Right. Well, I grew up in it. I grew up in church. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've coached a couple of churches in my coaching business, and you really have to look at it like you're putting on a show, and that there's a reward on the end, and that reward is how well your contributions are in order to fund out what you want to get done in the future.
And how many people don't walk out?
Exactly. Yes.
One of our challenges has been it's been easier for us to grow the house of worship business.
Okay.
A little more tricky in the non-religious verticals.
Okay.
We've done some schools. We've done some government projects.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Supreme Court downtown Indy 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
We've done some large systems, schools and things like that. It's a little trickier for us because we don't have the natural referral network.
So I would put you on the same. I'm going to put you on the same kind of frying pan I would put any member and say, well, why not just maximize that church channel and take full advantage of the high ground that you built and build out? Are you networking with do you have a church architecture firm in your Rolodex that you're passing business back and forth with?
We work a little bit with some architects. That's been a weakness of mine as a business driver.
Okay.
To not put the effort in. It's we're in one of those unfortunate modes, unfortunate of small business where, which hat happens now?
Yeah. And
sometimes the marketing types of things don't necessarily happen because those aren't the urgent phone calls.
Well, the one thing I would, if I was to coach you for a second, I'd say, take full advantage of the high ground that you've already built. Find a marketing firm that focuses on churches. Find an architecture firm that focuses on churches. A furniture company that focuses on churches. I mean, build that whole channel out and make sure you're taking full advantage of all the ROI that comes from owning the high ground in that vertical. Because there's a lot of business in that business. Grow rich in an inch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting free coaching right here on the bus.
There you
go. So. What is the one thing that you think makes you different when you're going in, whether it's church, whether it's a business, letting you come back out of that drill down? What makes you different in how you provide service and how you create a customer experience?
The way we normally present that, Tony, is we don't carry inventory. So there's nothing that I have to sell. We represent various lines from various manufacturers. So we do a great job of the interview, needs assessment, needs analysis, whatever, however you want to call it.
Sure, yeah.
And determine what you really need, not just now, but what you're going to need a couple of years from now. I had a phone conversation yesterday with a tiny little church in northwestern Ohio that I thought I knew what was going to make sense for them. And in the course of the discussion with the gentleman, and it realized, that's way overkill.
Yeah.
So we backed it down and agreed to something appropriate that they'll be happy with for several years. It won't be as cool as their neighbors, but it'll be right for them. And so everybody wins.
It's all about finding that fit.
Yeah, I could have made more money, but I'll have a longer term customer because I did the right thing.
Amen. Hey, it was great having you on the show. Appreciate it. Circle City Audio?
Yes, sir.
All right. In Fort Wayne?
At Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis. All right. See you.